Life is brief. Sacred texts remind us our existence is like a vapor, present one moment, vanished the next. We labor, we envision, we aspire, yet ultimately the question persists. What awaits beyond our final breath? Existence is transient. Despite our efforts to grasp our days, they escape through our fingers like fine sand. Our world constantly transforms. People are born, they develop, they create, they cherish, they endure hardship, then eventually they depart. This pattern continues cycle after cycle. Leaders and monarchs have appeared and disappeared. Great societies have ascended to might, only to dissolve into dust. The identities of once influential warriors and brilliant thinkers who shaped history are now merely etched in stone, scarcely recalled. This represents the true nature of earthly existence. It is temporary. Observe your surroundings and you'll recognize how delicate everything truly is. A person devotes their entire lifetime working, pursuing accomplishment, gathering riches, and establishing a legacy, only to abandon it all eventually. A mother nurtures her family, investing her affection and vitality into those she treasures. Yet time advances, and those she held closest gradually slip from her embrace. Youth diminishes, vigor declines, and elements we once considered permanent begin to deteriorate. We pursue security, hoping that with sufficient accumulation, meticulous planning, and diligent effort, we might somehow extend this life. We construct homes, launch enterprises, seek achievements, all with the hope that our creations will persist. Yet internally, we recognize the truth. Regardless of our accomplishments, regardless of our possessions, everything will eventually fade. The wealthiest among us and the poorest share the same destiny. The body weakens, the heart grows weary, and the breath that once filled our lungs ultimately ceases. But if this existence were all that existed, if we were simply here momentarily only to be forgotten, why does our essence yearn for more? Why do we dread the concept of finality? Why do we grieve so profoundly when we lose someone beloved? It's because we weren't designed for temporary things. Something within each of us yearns for perpetuity, something that tells us there must be more than this. Observe the splendor of the world around you. Mountains stand unwavering, stars continue shining, and oceans extend far beyond what eyes can perceive. Seasons transition in perfect sequence, the sun rises and sets, and life persists in ways beyond our control. There exists a design, a purpose, a significance behind everything. If the Creator instilled such wonder and structure throughout the universe, how much more would He have placed within us? The truth is, we were created for something far greater than this world. We weren't meant to simply exist briefly and then vanish. The longing in our hearts for something more isn't accidental. It's a reminder that life here is merely the beginning, a preparation for what follows. Everything visible is temporary. The homes we build, the cities we construct, the treasures we gather, all will pass away. But something endures, something not confined by time. While this life is brief, eternity has no conclusion. Since the dawn of time, humanity has searched for meaning beyond the boundaries of this existence. Across cultures, across generations, across the rise and fall of empires, there has been a deep, unshakable belief that life doesn't simply terminate when the body deteriorates. The yearning for eternity is woven into the human spirit, a desire nothing in this world can completely satisfy. No amount of wealth, power, or earthly success can silence that inner voice whispering, "There is more." That longing isn't illusion or wishful thinking. It's a divine calling, a promise placed within us by the one who created us. Throughout history, people have attempted to answer the great question of what follows death. Some have sought answers in philosophy, others in science, others in pursuing earthly pleasures, hoping to extend life as long as possible. But the answer has never been discovered in human wisdom or in temporary things of this world. The answer has been revealed by the one who holds eternity in his hands, the one who spoke the heavens into existence, the one who formed mankind from the earth's dust and breathed life into him. The promise of eternal life isn't myth, not a story created to alleviate fear of death. It's a certainty, a reality more solid than the ground beneath our feet. It's the assurance we weren't made for a fleeting existence, that we were created with purpose beyond time's limitations. This promise isn't based on human effort or achievement. It's not something earned through good deeds, nor reserved only for the strongest, wisest, or most righteous among us. It's a gift freely given, offered to all willing to receive it. Evidence of eternity surrounds us. Observe creation's order, the universe's perfect design, the intricate detail of life itself. Nothing in this world lacks purpose. And if that's true, how much more purposeful is the human soul's existence? If a flower blooms for just one season yet fulfills its purpose in that time, how much more were we created for something beyond the span of a few brief years? If stars continue shining for thousands of years, if oceans move in perfect rhythm, if seasons change with precision, then surely the human soul wasn't made to simply vanish into nothingness. But eternal life isn't merely about existence beyond death, not just about living forever. It's about knowing the one who gives life, about relationship, about being united with the source of all love, all peace, all joy. It isn't a promise of endless time in a meaningless void, but a promise of perfect fulfillment, complete restoration, living as we were always meant to live. There exists a longing in every heart, a restlessness no earthly pleasure can satisfy. People search for fulfillment in success, relationships, achievements, material gain, yet even the wealthiest and most powerful feel emptiness nothing in this world can fill. That's because we were created for something greater than this world. We were designed for eternity. The promise of eternal life isn't only about what happens after our final breath. It's about the hope, peace, and purpose that fills a life surrendered to something greater. It's about knowing that regardless of what happens in this life, something far greater awaits beyond what eyes can see. From the moment we're born, life presents us with choices. Daily we decide which path to take, which words to speak, which actions to make. Some choices seem small, insignificant, barely noticeable in the grand scheme. Others shape the course of our lives, determining the direction we walk, opportunities we embrace, and legacy we leave. But of all choices we make, one stands above the rest. One that doesn't simply affect the next year, decade, or even remainder of our earthly days. It's the choice determining our eternity. There exist only two paths, and every person walks one. One leads to life, life that's full, life that's eternal, life that never fades. The other leads to separation, darkness, an existence never meant for humanity. There's no middle ground, no third option, no way to avoid decision. Whether acknowledged or not, each of us travels a path, moving closer to one of two eternal destinies. Some believe that living a good life, avoiding harm to others, being kind and generous will suffice. They believe they can forge their own way, create their own destiny, carve their own path through effort and sincerity. But no amount of goodness, no personal striving can bridge the gap between humanity and eternity. The question isn't how good we've been, how much we've achieved, or how many kind deeds we've performed. The question is, which path are we walking? Because ultimately, there are only two. There exists a way leading to life, but it's not the way the world often chooses. It's not the broad road filled with distractions and indulgences, not the path of self-sufficiency and pride. It's a road requiring surrender, a road calling for humility, a road leading to the ultimate destination of peace, joy, and fulfillment beyond anything this world offers. The other road is wide, traveled by many. It's the road promising freedom, but leading to bondage. The road seeming right, but ending in destruction. It's the road of self-reliance, of pursuing momentary pleasures, of seeking temporary satisfaction at the cost of eternal consequences. It's the road whispering, "You have time. You can choose later." Yet every step leads further from light, further from truth, further from the life meant to be ours. The most dangerous deception is believing we needn't choose at all, that we can remain stationary, that we can wait, postpone decision until we're older, until we've experienced more, until we're ready. But delay itself is choice. To ignore the path leading to life is to remain on the one leading away. Every person must decide. The choice isn't forced upon anyone. It's not made from fear, obligation, or duty. It's made in the heart, in the soul's depths, with understanding that our lives aren't our own, that we were created for something greater, that eternity is real and awaits us all. The question isn't whether we'll step into eternity. The question is, which path will take us there? Faith remains one of the most powerful forces in human experience. It moves people to action, provides strength amidst suffering, and carries them through storms they never imagined surviving. But faith isn't merely positive thinking or blind optimism. It's not a wish, fleeting hope, or empty belief in something unknown. True faith is confidence. Confidence in something greater than ourselves. Confidence in unwavering promise. Confidence in unshakable foundation. It's assurance of things unseen, certainty that life extends beyond what we touch and see. Faith distinguishes between fear and courage, between despair and hope, between being lost and found. The world tells us to rely on what we control, to trust our abilities, wisdom, strength. But regardless of personal strength, accumulated wealth, or acquired knowledge, there comes a moment when human effort reaches its limit. There exist problems we cannot solve, burdens we cannot carry, wounds we cannot heal. This is where faith enters. Faith built not on human strength, but on something far greater. It's trusting that even when we cannot see the complete picture, there exists a plan, purpose, and power beyond our own working all things together for good. But faith alone isn't enough if misplaced. People invest faith in many things: money, success, relationships, even themselves. They believe with sufficient work, planning, and correct choices, they can secure their future and control destiny. But what happens when unexpected circumstances arise, when trusted foundations begin crumbling, when things so tightly held slip away? Faith in wrong things leads to disappointment. Faith in temporary things inevitably fails. True faith isn't about clinging to personal understanding, but surrendering to something greater. Surrender isn't weakness, giving up, or admitting defeat. Surrender is choice. The moment we stop trying to bear life's weight on our shoulders and place it in hands strong enough to carry it. It's releasing control, fear, pride, and stepping into a life guided by something far beyond our limited understanding. Surrender doesn't come easily. The human heart resists, fights against it, because we desire control. We want to determine our course, make our way, prove we're strong enough independently. But control is illusion. Regardless of planning effort or protection attempts, life demonstrates how little control we actually possess. When we surrender, we don't lose, we gain. We enter a peaceful life, purposeful life, unburdened by constant struggle to be enough, do enough, achieve enough. Faith and surrender are inseparable. Faith believes in greater purpose, greater power, greater love guiding our lives. Surrender is the action following belief, saying, I trust even without understanding. I release even wanting to hold on. I believe even without seeing. In that moment of surrender, true strength emerges, because it's no longer about what we can do, but what can be done through us. No longer about striving, but trusting. No longer about shouldering burdens alone, but placing them in hands that never release. Death represents the great unknown, the final chapter facing every human. It's the one reality none escape, regardless of power, wealth, or wisdom. From our first breath, we move closer to our last, and for many this truth brings fear. Fear lingering in the mind, darkening during sickness, loss, or suffering. It's fear of the unknown, of leaving behind the familiar, of what follows. Throughout history, people have sought to avoid or delay death, searching for ways to extend earthly time, hoping science, medicine, or wealth might grant additional years. Yet no one has found escape. Death doesn't discriminate, visiting young and old, rich and poor, strong and weak. Because it's inevitable, many try to dismiss it, distracting themselves with life's busyness, avoiding thoughts of it until it can no longer be ignored. But ignoring death doesn't diminish its power. Running from it doesn't remove fear. Some seek comfort believing death is simply the end, nothing beyond, merely returning to nothingness. But deep within, the human soul knows that's untrue. Something within every person testifies that life doesn't simply end, that when we close our eyes in this world, we open them in another, that we weren't created for mere oblivion, but something greater. Fear of death isn't just fear of the unknown, it's fear of separation, leaving loved ones, unfinished plans, everything worked for vanishing instantly. It's fear of standing alone in a moment no one else can walk through with us. Regardless of surrounding people in final moments, regardless of love and comfort provided, there comes a point when the journey becomes solitary, and for many, that thought terrifies. But fear loses power in truth's presence, and truth is that death isn't the end, not the final destination. It's transition, doorway, entry into reality far greater than anything this world offers. Fear of death can only be overcome by assurance of what lies beyond. People fear death because they're uncertain about eternity. But when someone knows without doubt there's life beyond this one, hope beyond the grave, place prepared beyond sight, then fear fades. Greatest victories aren't won by physically strong, but by those facing their greatest enemy confidently, and no greater enemy exists to the human soul than fear of death. But when the heart finds peace, when the soul knows its destination, when eternity isn't just distant idea but living reality, then death loses its sting. It becomes not something feared, but moment of passage, crossing from temporary struggle to everlasting joy. Fear of death is real but needn't be final, needn't control, torment, or paralyze. It can be overcome not by avoidance or denial, but by facing it with unshakable certainty that life doesn't end when the body weakens, but continues more gloriously than mind comprehends. Life isn't accidental. Each person is born with purpose, reason for being, calling greater than mere existence. Too many wander through life seeking meaning, grasping temporary pleasures, chasing success, only to find themselves empty and unfulfilled. They reach goals once thought would bring happiness, only to discover something still missing. They build wealth, achieve recognition, experience moments of joy, yet deep within their hearts remains longing for something more. That longing isn't mistake. It's reminder that life exceeds mere survival, accomplishments, routines. Life without purpose is life without direction, like a ship lost at sea, drifting with winds, never reaching true destination. Without purpose, people try filling emptiness with distractions. Some pursue careers with relentless ambition, believing success will provide meaning. Others seek comfort in relationships, hoping another person will complete them. Many turn to entertainment, pleasure, material possessions, thinking sufficient quantity will finally satisfy. But none of these truly fulfill the human soul. The reason is simple. Our purpose isn't found in things, status, or even personal happiness. It's found in something greater than ourselves. Living purposefully means living intentionally, waking daily, knowing your life matters. Your actions have significance beyond yourself. It's understanding you were placed on earth for reason. Your talents, abilities, passions were given for purpose. Purpose isn't about personal gain, but giving. Not chasing personal fulfillment, but investing in something outlasting this life. Living purposefully doesn't guarantee ease. It doesn't mean absence of struggles, hardships, doubts, but it means even in challenges there is meaning. Even in pain, a greater plan works. Even when the road is difficult, there's reason to continue. A purposeful life isn't measured by years lived, but impact left. Some live decades without discovering true purpose, while others, in brief time, leave enduring legacy. True purpose isn't found in selfish ambition but service. Not taking but giving. Not self-glorification but humility. It's using what we've been given, time, resources, talents, to make difference in others' lives. Recognizing life isn't about personal gain, but fulfilling greater calling. Some spend entire lives seeking meaning, looking wrong places when the answer has been before them. Purpose isn't created, it's discovered, written into the very fabric of who we are, waiting to be embraced, lived out. When someone begins living with true purpose, everything changes. Perspective shifts, priorities transform. No longer consumed by temporary pursuits, meaningless distractions, empty success, they begin seeing life differently, people differently, time as gift rather than waste. Every moment becomes valuable, every opportunity significant, every decision part of larger plan. Living purposefully isn't just about making difference in the world. It's fulfilling the reason life itself was given. Time is gift, yet fleeting. Every passing moment can never be regained. Days become weeks, weeks become years, and before realization, life moves forward like unstoppable river. People often live as though time is unlimited, tomorrow guaranteed, always another opportunity for decisions that truly matter. But time doesn't wait. The most dangerous illusion is believing there will always be more time. Every person must make decision about their life, future, eternity. It's not decision to ignore, question to postpone indefinitely. Some convince themselves they can wait until later, defer life's most important matters until older, more experienced, ready. But tomorrow isn't promised. No one knows their remaining days. No one can certainly claim another opportunity to make things right, take the right path, choose what truly matters. The urgency of decision isn't just about time's uncertainty, though that's part. It's about the reality that every moment without right choice is moment spent on wrong path. Every step taken without purpose is step wasted. Every day lived without clarity is day lost. The longer someone waits, the harder change becomes. The longer delay, the deeper entanglement in distractions, excuses, belief that time remains. Some believe they can wait until ready, enjoy life first, pursue desires first, live selfishly first, then make decision when convenient. But life doesn't function that way. The heart is shaped by choices made. Someone spending years ignoring what's right doesn't suddenly awaken prepared to embrace it. A cold heart doesn't suddenly warm without change occurring. Waiting isn't just postponing decision, it's choosing to remain stationary. There's urgency because battle exists for every heart. Daily people are pulled different directions, distracted by the world, deceived by belief they can choose later. But later isn't guaranteed. Life is fragile, changing instantly. Today's opportunity may vanish tomorrow. The voice calling now may not always call. The seemingly insignificant moment may be most important of all. Many stand at crossroads, knowing deeply they must choose, feeling decisions wait yet hesitating. They fear change, others' opinions, stepping into unknown. But fear isn't reason to delay. Ignore truth, remain bound in uncertainty, complacency, false security of waiting for better time. There will never be better time than now. Never moment more right than this moment. The urgency is real because life is brief, because the decision is too important to defer, because every heartbeat reminds that time passes, Opportunities don't last forever. The most important choice shouldn't be left to chance. Waiting isn't just dangerous, it's costly, costing time, purpose, potentially eternity. The decision must be made, and made now. Life is journey filled with choices, but no choice is more important than determining eternity. Time advances whether we're prepared or not, and everyone must decide which path to take. Life's brevity reminds us tomorrow isn't guaranteed, and delaying the most important decision isn't just risky, it's choice itself. Fear of death fades when certainty of eternity takes hold. Life's burdens lighten when faith leads the way. True purpose isn't found in temporary pursuits, but living for something greater than ourselves. The world's distractions attempt to pull hearts away, whispering there's always more time. But time is fleeting, and opportunity to choose doesn't last forever. Faith exceeds belief. It's trust. Surrender exceeds releasing. It's stepping into the life we were created to live. The promise of eternity isn't just for someday, it's for now, giving meaning to every moment, purpose to every step, direction to every heart choosing the path of life. The urgency is real, the decision before us, the door open, but not forever. This is the moment, this is the time, the choice must be made, and once made, it changes everything now and forever.